You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans, I've got your full roster of weekly spoilers for March 24th through the 28th. Billy is planning to blindside Victor and Claire is defiant. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, please reach down, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the action coming on Monday, March 24th, season 52, episode 115. So Sharon has a chat with Daniel at Crimson Lights about the ordeal that she and Phyllis just went through. It's a very nice talk. Both Daniel and Sharon are hoping for both of them that there is healing and that there is peace. Daniel is encouraging Sharon to embrace the positives now that she's out of this terrible situation. And Daniel and Sharon seem to be in a surprisingly good place considering all the things that happened with them, with Heather's death and her framing him, all that. And this is very interesting. Nick and Summer find Phyllis waking up from a kidnapping nightmare at the GCAC in her room. She's very grumpy and tells Nick and Summer to leave her alone. Phyllis finally snaps and screams at them to just stop trying to help. And Nick holds her as Phyllis falls apart, and she is asking him to make the way that she feels right now stop. And she's kind of caught up in her feelings about Sharon. She's hated her for a long time, and then they saved each other's lives, so they were getting to a good place, but then you can't just erase that many years of intense dislike. So Nick takes Phyllis over to Crimson Lights and sits her down with Sharon, and everybody leaves those two alone to talk. Meanwhile, Billy tells Sally that he's sorry that he ran off to help Phyllis. Technically, he ran off and saved her life. But Billy also assures Sally that she has nothing to worry about, that Phyllis is not a threat to their relationship. And he gives some additional info. Billy says that he and Phyllis are a lot alike, too much alike, and that's why they didn't work out. And then when Billy steps away for something, Sally notices his phone is blowing up with text messages from Aristotle Duma. Remember when Billy was talking to someone in Paris about their contacts and, planning to take down Victor? Obviously, it is this mystery person, Duma. And speaking of him, Michael updates Victor that their spies at Glissade won't have info for a while because the company is still being integrated with Jabot. And Michael updates Victor that as far as he can tell, Dumas is not interested in the Winters or their company or, not particularly in Damien. And then Victor confesses that he and Dumas are past rivals, and he thinks that the guy is up to something. Tuesday, March 25th, season 52, episode 116. Victor has some valuable information that he shares with Lily. I wonder how much of his own history with Dumas that he's going to unpack for her. Victor told Michael that a couple of times he and Dumas have competed to buy the same companies, and sometimes Victor wins and sometimes Dumas wins, but they are definitely business rivals. And as we know, Victor takes business very personally, so you can't really say there's nothing personal between them. And I just wonder how much he's going to give Lily. Sharon and Phyllis find themselves in a strange place on Tuesday. They've been sat down to kind of talk through things because they were rescued and then taken their separate ways after the life and death ordeal. So them finding themselves in a strange place may be figurative, like them finding forgiveness and moving forward, not as enemies, or it could be literal, like where they decide to go to therapy together. I think it's more like just going ahead and forgiving each other and just kind of letting it go moving forward. Devon gets some troubling news on Tuesday as well. This could be about Dumas or Nate and Damien because they're with Amy in Chicago. It could be about Holden and Audra since Devon and Lily saw those two at Society and they're kind of suspicious about what that might mean for Nate. Wednesday, March 26th, episode 117 of the current season. And we have Nikki and Jack chatting at Society, and they definitely disagree about something. And it could be about Victor making war on Jack. Maybe Nikki's in denial. It could be about Kyle and Claire, because we've got spoilers for those two as well on Wednesday. Kyle and Claire break the rules. So sounds like they might get into a little trouble. I don't think they're breaking laws, but I'm interested to see what rules that they're breaking. Sharon helps Traci connect some of the dots about her fiance, Alan. Traci's going to stop by Crimson Lights and chat with Sharon. I do wonder if Traci is going to tell her about the clinic security alerts that she saw on Alan's phone. It would be interesting if Sharon knew something about Alan Laurent's tie to Havenhurst. I still wonder if his evil twin, Martin, was kept there as a patient at some point, since they are Americans that just happened to be over in Paris. And of course, that's not really Alan as far as we can tell. That looks like it is Martin that she's engaged to. Thursday, March 27th, episode 118 of season 52. Traci takes her concerns to Jack. So after this conversation with Sharon, and it could be something more career oriented, like Traci mentions a certain phrase that Alan uses or something like that, and Sharon recognizes that that's not a turn of phrase that a licensed psychiatrist would use. Maybe it's just one more red flag. Fake Alan's time is definitely running out. We're about at this point, like 4 weeks out from May sweeps, which starts at the end of April. So I think the big blow up with him is going to leak over into those sweeps. But Traci tells Jack that she's not sure that Alan is who he says he is. I think we're all not sure he is who he says he is. Meanwhile, Diane keeps up appearances, and maybe that's about Jabot and not revealing she knows that Victor has spies there. We'll see. Billy has a new plan, and he shares it with Phyllis. I wonder if Billy is going to tell her that he's plotting with Duma to take down Victor, because she would probably be there for it. That was part of Phyllis's Valentine's Day dream, is that Billy told her he hadn't given up on his vendetta, and Phyllis said, okay, I'm here to help you with it, So also on Thursday, Phyllis is completely distraught. She doesn't want her kids to see her in the condition that she's in, and Billy is there to support her, and Phyllis says she knows how he can help her. I wonder if Billy's going to do something he shouldn't do after he just reassured Sally that Phyllis is not a threat to their relationship. Friday, March 28th, season 52, episode 119. Victor catches his family off guard. That could be any day of the week. Who even knows with the mustache? Jack is very worried about Traci's safety. So I think that people are starting to be increasingly concerned about Alan, and maybe he is soon going to be a suspect in this kidnapping. Sally calls Billy's bluff. She may be calling him out on feelings for Phyllis, but I think it's more about she may be calling him out because he's been saying he's not still chasing a vendetta on Victor when he clearly still is. Also this week, we're going to have sweet romantic scenes of Adam and Chelsea teasing each other. And just a piece of casting news, Billy Flynn has left Days of Our Lives, where he played Chad Demara for quite a while. He is coming over in Y&R, and he's supposed to debut very soon in a new role. I kind of suspect he may be Aristotle Duma. And if you don't know anything about Billy Flynn, he is quite a good actor. He is a hunk. The shirtless scenes will be impressive. I guarantee it.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.